And I'm Matt Hanna.
And this is Horror Hour with the Hannas.
Where we talk about all your favorite scary musicals.
Musicals? Well, this week we will attend the tale of Sweeney Todd because we recently saw Sweeney Todd on Broadway. Sorry, I'm so excited.
Yeah, we saw it a couple days ago.
We saw it
Got on the train.
September 2nd.
Yeah. Well, this is going to release so much later.
I know. This comes out like over 2 months later. Well, we were lucky enough when we got to see it that we got to see some members of the original cast, such as Josh Groban playing Sweeney Todd, and we got to see Annalee Ashford as Mrs. Lovett, which was super exciting. We were very deliberate with picking our dates to make sure that Josh wasn't on vacation or anything.
We sadly did not get to see Gatton Matarazzo. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah,
as
I think so.
Toby, which we are very disappointed because we heard a bunch of recordings and he had a super strong voice, and I was pretty butthurt over it. If you don't know who that is, he's Dustin from Stranger Things, and he's a super talented singer.
He is amazing, but yeah, tragically, we did not get to see him. We will still love to listen to the cast recording. Part of me is like, oh, we have to go back because I need to see Gatton, whatever his name is. Love him.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you say it. Well, that's on me.
Also, Ruthie Ann Miles plays the beggar woman, if you're familiar with the show, and she was actually up for a Tony for featured actress.
In this one?
And she is still part of the cast at the time of recording, but she was also out.
Brutal.
Which was really sad. But it is what it is.
Didn't they know we were coming?
I know, how dare they. A lot of members of the original cast are still there. Jamie Jackson, who plays Judge Turpin, is also original cast, and we did see him, which is fun.
Can I talk about my previous experience with this musical?
Yes, let's do it.
Sure. I think I have more than you, possibly, with this one. No?
That is not accurate.
All right, well, this is the fourth different way I've seen this musical.
Me also.
Oh, okay, so we're on the same boat then? So I saw it in community theater. I've watched the original Broadway cast recording. I have watched the movie with Johnny Depp and
Helena Bonham Carter.
And now I've seen this. Is that all?
Me as well.
You didn't watch the Broadway recording.
I did fall asleep.
You fell asleep.
But I did watch some of it.
I'm not counting that.
And I've listened to the cast recordings from both the movie and original Broadway a million times. I was a theater kid in high school, so I introduced Matt to this show.
Oh, I knew of Sweeney Todd, but yeah, you got me to see it.
But I introduced it to you,
Fine.
like, brought you to see it. I bought the tickets to see it when we saw it at a community theater.
Yeah, it was fun at the community theater too. So I would say I've seen it four different ways. And I will go out and say right away, I think this was my favorite version of the
no competition. 4
that I've seen,
yeah,
which is...
No.
I really liked it much better than even the original Broadway recording. Although recording's not the same as seeing it. I just think that
vocally,
some of the...
I think this cast is really, really strong.
I think staging and just like the overall feel of it, I think they just nailed it in this one. So,
and I will definitely be talking about that. So let's jump into our 15-second summaries. We've kind of talked about our experience with the show, and we didn't say it, but we had very high expectations going in to see it on Broadway, especially with Josh Groban and Annalee Ashford, and our expectations were definitely met. So summary time. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I think you can go first.
Okay.
All right. Give me the timer. Fine. You ready? Go.
Barber kills people and bakes them into pies.
Well, that's all you're going to say.
Whenever I describe this to anyone to try and like sell them on it, that's all you really have to say until it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Also, did we say spoilers? I don't think we ever do, but I'm going to say it here again. Spoilers. We're going to tell you what happens.
Yeah. I mean, the whole episode is a spoiler. All right. Your turn. Ready? Go.
Barber comes back to get revenge on the man that stole his child and basically killed his wife. I gotta start over.
No.
And then he does it and then dies and kills it. He actually kills his wife who was alive the whole time.
That was too many seconds.
I know. I didn't mean to say he didn't kill her, but he messed her up.
That was horrible.
Yeah. Once I said killed, I was like, well, that's not accurate. So that's why I wanted to start over.
I'll give you a redo, but you only get 8 seconds this time.
Only get 8 seconds?
Yeah. All right, go.
Barber goes to get revenge on a judge that ruined his life, but by doing so ends up ruining his life even more, and then he dies.
Perfect.
There we go. Is that better?
Yes.
All right, and now we're going to do a, as fast as I can, real plot summary. But first I want to say there are some content warnings. There's mentions of sexual assault and suicide. And we begin here in 1846. Young sailor Anthony and the mysterious Sweeney Todd dock in London. A beggar woman sexually solicits them, and Todd shoos her away. Todd relays some of his troubled past to Anthony. He was a naive barber removed from a corrupt judge who lust after Todd's wife. Leaving Anthony, Todd enters a meat pie shop on Fleet Street where the owner, Miss Lovett, reports that her empty upstairs apartment was previously rented by a man named Benjamin Barker, who was imprisoned for life based on a false charge by Judge Turpin, who, along with his servant, Beadle Bamford, then lured Barker's wife Lucy to a masked ball at the judge's home and drugged and sexually assaulted her. Todd's reaction reveals that he himself is Benjamin Barker. Promising to keep his secret, Miss Lovett explains that Lucy poisoned herself with arsenic and that their then-infant daughter, Joanna, became the judge's ward. Todd swears revenge on the judge and the beadle, and Miss Lovett presents Todd with his old collection of sterling silver straight razors, which persuades Todd to take up his old profession as a barber. Elsewhere, Anthony spies on a beautiful girl singing in her window, and the beggar woman tells him that her name is Joanna. Unaware that Joanna is his friend Todd's daughter, Anthony falls in love, pledges to return to her, even after the judge and beadle threaten him and chase him away. Judge Turpin later resolves to marry her himself. In a crowded London marketplace, Sweeney Todd engages in a beard-cutting competition with barber Pirelli and wins, inviting the impressed beadle for a free shave. When Anthony tells Todd of his plan to ask Joanna to elope with him, Todd, eager to reunite with his daughter, agrees to let them use his barbershop as a safe house. As Anthony leaves, Pirelli and his child employee Toby enter, and Miss Lovett takes Toby downstairs for a pie. Pirelli reveals that he knows Todd's true identity and demands half of his income for life. Todd kills him by slitting his throat. Simultaneously, the beadle recommends Todd's grooming services to the judge so that the judge may better win Joanna's affections. Suddenly, the judge enters the shop. Before Todd can kill the judge, however, Anthony re-enters and blurts out his elopement plan. The angry judge storms out, vowing to send Joanna away. Todd drives Anthony out in a fit of fury, reminded of the evil he sees in London, resolves to depopulate the city by murdering his future customers since all people deserve to die. While discussing how to dispose of Pirelli's body, Miss Lovett is struck by a sudden idea and suggests that they use the bodies of Todd's victims in her meat pies. Several weeks later, Miss Lovett's pie shop has become a successful business and Toby works there as a waiter. Todd has acquired a special mechanical barber's chair that allows him to kill clients, then send their bodies directly through a chute into the pie's basement bakehouse. Anthony finds Joanna locked away in a private asylum. Anthony arrives to beg Todd for help to free Joanna, and Todd offers help. Once Anthony has departed, Todd sends a letter informing the judge that Anthony will bring Joanna to his shop just after dark, and that he will hand her over in order to lure him back to the shop. In the pie shop, Toby tells Miss Lovett of his skepticism about Todd and his own desire to protect her. She, distracted by him showing him a bakehouse... Oh, I misread that. Let's start over. She distracts him by showing him the bakehouse and locks him in. In the basement, Toby discovers hair and fingernails in a pie he has been eating just as a fresh corpse comes tumbling through the chute. Terrified, he flees into the sewers below the bakehouse. Miss Lovett then informs Todd that Toby has found out about their secret and they plot to kill him. Anthony rescues Joanna. Anthony and Joanna, now disguised as a sailor, arrive at Todd's empty shop. Joanna hears the beggar woman entering and hides into a trunk in the barbershop. Todd enters and he tries to force her to leave as she again seems to recognize him. Hearing the judge outside, a frantic Todd kills the beggar woman, sending her body down the chute barely a moment before the judge bursts in. Todd assures the judge that Joanna is repentant, and the judge asks for a quick splash of cologne. Once he has the judge in his chair, Todd slashes his throat and sends him hurtling down the chute. Joanna attempts to leave the trunk, not recognize her. Todd attempts to kill her, just as Miss Lovett shrieks from the bakehouse below, providing a distraction for Joanna to escape. Downstairs, Miss Lovett is struggling with the dying judge, who clutches at her dress. She then attempts to drag the beggar woman into the oven, but Todd arrives and sees her face clearly for the first time. The beggar woman was his wife, Lucy. Horrified, Todd accuses Miss Lovett of lying to him. Miss Lovett frantically denies it, explaining that Lucy did indeed poison herself but lived, although the attempt left her insane. Miss Lovett then tells Todd she loves him and would be better wife than Lucy ever could have been. Todd feigns forgiveness, dancing with Miss Lovett until he hurls her into the oven, burning her alive. Full of despair and in shock, Todd embraces the dead Lucy. Toby, now insane, crawls up from the sewer and slits Todd's throats. And that's the musical. Drop curtain, they come out, no encores, people are clapping, standing ovation. My throat hurts.
Yeah, I feel like you need a break.
That was so hard. This is too long. I need to...
You're going to have to take a couple days off work after that one.
This is brutal.
But you did it so much
We clipped
faster.
out the audio on something. I don't know what it was.
It might have been me clapping, I don't know.
Maybe.
But nailed it, honey.
That's going to be so boring and incomprehensible for people listening. Maybe they'll like it.
Who's to say?
We're going to try to do more of me speed doing it.
You know, shorter. We don't want to waste a bunch of time with plot summary. But if you think we should make them longer and not speed run, feel free to let us know. Give us feedback.
Yeah, I was hoping it'd be
accepting.
entertaining for you to hear me stumble over my words and try to go as fast as I could.
I had fun making fun of you in my head. I don't know.
Yeah.
You stuttered about as many times as I stuttered doing it slow. So
yeah,
good
but
for
I did it about half the time.
Yeah. So I know normally on the podcast we kind of talk about like hide count, screen count. This is a musical. It's not scary. The content is like horrific, but the actual like it's not.
What do you mean the content's awesome?
No, but it's horrific. I mean,
sure.
Like, did you hear that summary you just gave?
No.
But we didn't hide. We didn't scream. In fact, our eyes were glued to that fucking stage. If you looked away for any second of that show, you're a moron. It was great.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm going there. It's a great show. And if you disagree, fuck you. So
yeah, it's 10 minutes and we're allowed to say that at this point.
So we're going to go through what we like about the show, period, and then we're going to talk about the specific production we saw. So, Matt, I know, we've seen Sweeney Todd before this. That's why we saw this, because we love it so much. Tell me why you like the show in general. Like, what about this piece of art, the book, the score, do you like?
The music is really beautiful and intricate and fun to hear. I think the story is really fun. I like Sweeney Todd as a character a lot. Mm-hmm. And I have said this to you before, but I really like that. Like, I feel like anyone can play him. Not anyone can sing like him, but like he could be anybody. Like, there's no distinct look for Sweeney Todd other than like skin was pale and his eye was odd, right?
Yeah.
That's all they say.
Yeah, he's pale.
I think it's a very, very funny musical. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. It's hard to, like, I guess, pinpoint it. Do you get some thoughts?
I mean, I agree that the plot is so much fun. I mean, it's heavy, but it's really fun for a musical. It's more complicated than I think you're seeing from a lot of shows. I wouldn't call this, like, a guilty pleasure musical like I would with some of the other ones that are just, like, a good time period. This is a good time, but it's doing a lot more than that.
Maybe we like to revel in the evilness, too. Like, Sweeney Todd's a bad guy. But, like, the judge is a way worse guy, so, like, seeing him plot his revenge and finally cut that dude's throat is, like, a great, grand old time.
I think a well-deserved revenge story is always fun.
For sure. This is a cut and dry revenge story, really, right? Mm-hmm. All revenge stories, like, the person is right to get the revenge, but they pay the price for getting it.
Yeah.
Easy enough. I love that. Tales old as time.
Like you said, I think the music is also excellent. I mean, Sondheim is always considered very complicated, and this is definitely one of his more complicated scores.
Oh, you think so?
And I think every song in this show is very fun. It's either beautiful or fun, and there's not a boring song in this show, besides maybe, like, the Beatles' little comedic singing parlor song.
Sondheim really does make music that's purposely just so hard to sing and perform. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like sometimes you can complain about someone acting and it's like, all right, listen, they're out here singing this intricate ass song. Like, give them a break. Like, it is not an easy thing to do.
I'm on, like, a little bit of theater TikTok, mostly because I was watching so much Sweeney Todd content after the Tonys. But I have had so many videos of Into the Woods come up with people, like, learning songs from Into the Woods, being like, I'm gonna kill myself. Because it's insane.
That is funny.
Like, there's such a severe difference between me doing Legally Blonde in high school to, like, rolling up and doing Into the Woods.
Yes. Very much so.
You go, yes. You don't even know Into the Woods. It's fine. Something else I would say about the music that's really fun is there are leitmotifs throughout the show that are really fun. For those who don't know, that's basically a short, recurring musical phrase associated with a particular person, place, or idea. So think Star Wars, there's like the Leia song.
And the Force song, the Luke song, the Vader song. Yes.
And so this has many of those. This has over 20.
Whoa, I guess I do know that. I just can't pinpoint them.
Mm-hmm. And I think I love shows that have that. I think it makes the music that much more beautiful. I know we talk about that a lot with like, we really like Les Mis and we lose our mind over some themes, of that. Yeah. And this has a lot of that as well in very fun, creative ways. So I think that makes the score brilliant. And something you didn't mention, or maybe you did and I blacked it out, but the humor in this show is great.
It's hysterical.
It's fucking funny. And I think depending on which production you're seeing, you might, like, you know, see different takes on the humor. It might be more slapstick. It might not be. I'll say
I always find Miss Lovett's always very funny, or Mrs. Lovett. I never know if it's Miss. She's not married, so I call her Miss. But specifically Annalee Ashford.
It's Mrs. Lovett, though.
Oh.
I believe she's a widow. She's a widow. Okay. But it's Tell You Why, Mrs. Lovett.
I guess you're right. I say Miss. All right. Either way, Annalee Ashford is so goddamn funny in this. Physically, delivery, like timing. She's unbelievable. It is phenomenal.
Yeah, I would say listening to the soundtrack, you're not going to get the full effect of what she's doing.
Because she's a good singer.
But her performance really lies in the physicality and how she interacts with other people on the stage.
And I think her performance lies in the dryness of Josh Groban's Sweeney Todd.
Yes, I think a lot of people were worried about his Sweeney Todd being, I guess, less like, for lack of a better word, psycho killer. And I think... Yeah. But I think him being more subdued, with her being more slapstick, the combo works really well and they play off each other well.
Yeah,
even if it's not what people anticipated. But yeah, the humor in the show, even just in the script, regardless of the performances, I think the humor is really good. And it's in all of the music, the songs themselves. Even if the song, you wouldn't be like, wow, that's a beautiful song. So funny. Like some of the songs that I never would have, like I would never just listen to, I then saw on stage and I was like, holy shit, I love this song now because it was just so funny and clever.
I wanted to ask, I know we don't want to talk about the acting too much. Do you think yet? Oh.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Okay, because I wanted to ask, you said something about Josh Groban, so.
Go ahead, just do it.
All I was going to say was, do you find that because he's a little more subdued in some areas, that when the humor or the craziness comes out, it's more impactful?
I kind of felt that way myself. Like, I love Epiphany as a song, and I think his voice is perfect for it. And that's the song he sings.
That's when he really starts to lose
That's the song he sings at the end of Act 1, where he just decides that everyone deserves to die now, and he's going to start killing people.
And he's asking people in the crowd to come get their throats slit.
Yeah, he's like literally pointing at people in the crowd like, it's your turn, bitch. I think that makes, like, the fact that he is so subdued, moments like that kind of
they pop.
Might hit a little bit harder.
Which I felt. I had no problem with his acting. It was how I expected. Maybe I don't have I've only, like you said, I've seen 4 different versions, and I was
and they're
very
not
happy.
Like the best versions we could have seen. But yeah, I've seen a lot of takes that people find his performance much too subdued or kind of like boring. But I kind of see it as him playing this depressed, withdrawn man who's still grieving and trying to figure out how to build his life and get over that. And yes, he wants revenge on the person who took that from him, as we all would. But then it goes unhinged. But he doesn't have to be unhinged the whole time.
Yep. Because
I think he's channeling the emotion more so than...
Again, I thought he was great. I have no complaints. Josh Groban's great. His voice sounds phenomenal.
Well, his voice is why we saw the show. So we had talked about how we wanted to see the Broadway revival when it was first announced. We did not buy tickets. We then heard the Tonys performance, and I heard Josh Groban sing, and I said, okay, we're going.
And we heard Gatton sing. We didn't get to see him.
Yeah, R.I.P. That fucking sucked. But, so we heard...
Gatton. I still don't know if it's Gatton or Gatton.
I don't know. I call him Gatton. You call him Gatton most of the time. It is what it is. Sorry, Gatton. We'll figure it out one day. Come on the pod and tell us how to say your name. We love you so much.
Please keep being on Broadway.
We love you so much.
Don't go back to Stranger Things. We don't need a season 5.
Well, we're getting a season 5.
No, we don't need it. I know we're getting it.
I really hope that filming gets pushed off further and further so we can keep him in this show.
Please.
I would love to get to see him.
He was in Les Mis too, right?
Yes.
You know what he played, right?
Yeah.
All right, good.
A boy.
I can't remember his name.
Little man.
The little kid that gets shot.
I love
Spoilers
him.
for Les Mis.
So cute.
That would have killed me seeing Gatton get shot in Les Mis.
I know. He's so cute. There's no one more precious than Gatton.
That musical, not movie. That movie's not that good. That musical is devastating. It's so good. All right.
Yes.
Sorry. Off topic. Les Mis rocks.
Anyway, vocally, when we heard Josh, we were like, we're in. And I think it's really interesting because previously when I had seen the show and I had watched the movie, my favorite song was Joanna. I felt like it was so pretty. I think in the movie, it's gorgeous. I think out of the songs in the movie, Joanna is probably the best song.
Every time you always push that song, you know what? It's good, but...
Okay, but think about it. Think about the movie.
The movie
think about the
is
soundtrack that I
my
was
favorite.
listening to, and compare him to everyone else in that movie. The answer is Joanna.
I almost like that. Can I say, and this is my reading, Joanna is very pretty and I like it.
It almost
feels like it's a parody of musicals when I hear it, because the rest of the musical is so like goofy, and I know it's not. This is just like, it feels like, with the obligatory falling in love song. But you know what? I love it every time. Those horns are awesome.
Well,
is it horns? Yeah, it is. There's horns.
This show also makes fun of the fact that they fall in love so fast. Like there are lines.
So maybe
really
it is. Maybe it is
on
supposed to be a little bit of a.
It's
parody,
a little parody, also,
but it's also beautiful still.
We need a beautiful song in here, and we need him to be doing something. But
I
in
like
this version, Epiphany was my favorite. Or A Little Priest was really
I was going to say, I think
so.
A Little Priest was my favorite, which is, for the viewers out there, the song where they're talking about all the different people they're going to put in meat pies and how they taste.
It's, when This Is Love, it comes up with the idea.
It's basically right after Sweeney goes crazy.
Which is Epiphany, my favorite
Epiphany. And then immediately just goes into this like goofy-ass song where they're just like doing knee slap jokes about the people they're going to eat, or the people that they're going to serve to other people. And it's just so funny, and I just love it.
Yeah, and I think that's where they get to show a little bit, he gets to show a little bit more personality and actually let loose for a fucking second, because this man doesn't get a fucking break.
Yep.
But he's losing his mind over eating people. Some of the lines from that song, just because, so funny. It's a little priest, have a little priest. Sir, it's too good at least. Then again, they don't commit the sins of the flesh, so it's pretty fresh.
Doesn't do it justice, because it just keeps going.
No, you have to listen to it.
It just keeps going.
Well then, if you're British and loyal, you might enjoy Royal Marine. Anyway, it's clean. Though, of course, it tastes of wherever it's been.
Boo.
But, no, in context, it's so funny. They're literally just like, what kind of people can we make in pie? We love a meat pie. Now I can't eat a meat pie, but I think I'd be a little too horrified. But excellent.
I'll get some shepherd's pie. That's meat pie.
Yeah, I would eat a shepherd's pie. I'm a liar.
Same thing.
Just can't ever do it on Fleet Street, I guess. I don't even know if that's a real street.
I don't know. They said they were pretty good. It's also great that once they start serving people, that's when their
pies are good,
booked, and everyone wants to eat the pies. Mm-hmm. I think that's very funny.
Mm-hmm. So,
and this musical's so fun.
Yeah, so good. In this specific production, I know we talked a little bit about the casting and how Josh Groban is stunning, and Epiphany was everything I could have ever asked for. We also talked about how we were very disappointed that we missed out on our boy Gatton. I will say, at the time of recording this, the full cast album has not been put out yet, but we are able to access his version of Not While I'm Around. And
which is his main big song.
Yes. Stunning, stunning, stunning.
Yeah, the guy we saw was fine, but he wasn't standout.
Yeah, we're not going to say his name. I don't need to shit on the man, but it just wasn't doing it justice, I think, the way that Gatton.
It sounded like on most other performances I've heard of it.
And I think
just nothing.
Gatton is standout in that, like, the clarity of his voice, the tone of his voice is so beautiful.
It was powerful, too.
But I think emotionally, like, it is really captured in his voice, and I could just... I mean, I've seen him in Stranger Things. I know what he's going to bring to that stage.
I do think him killing Todd at the end, if I had a scene with him, would have been much more impactful for me. I just feel like he seemed younger than the guy that played. He probably isn't, but he just like has this young vibe.
An actual adult man who played it.
Which is how this is how the original Broadway was an adult man.
Yeah, and I hate that.
It was weird.
This understudy is the understudy for Anthony and
so it's kind of an adult.
Gatton. Yeah, so it's like a person, not like a under 20.
Yep.
Because I think Gatton is young 20s or younger. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I feel like that was kind of lacking a little bit. And Annalee Ashford, like you mentioned, so funny.
She's incredible. I said this after that I felt like, and this is my hot take of the episode, is that it's crazy to see a musical that came out in the 70s. Am I right? 80s, 70s?
Fuck,
I'm not
I don't
sure.
remember.
Feel like it was specifically written for these two actors, being Josh Groban and Annalee Ashford. Like, it just felt, to me, like,
your
perfect
guess of 70s,
casting.
80s was perfect. It opened on Broadway in 79 and
Makes
West
sense.
End in 80.
There you go. But they just seemed so perfect for these roles in my mind. Loved it. Would love to see it again.
I've also seen people shit on her, too. They say her accent in certain songs or on stage is kind of, like, in and out or fucked up.
Well, it is, but it's funny.
But I think it adds to the humor, honestly, when it's kind of fucked up. Like, the way she says certain words is fucking hilarious.
Oh, see, I thought it was on
pretty
purpose. I'm going to be real with you.
People seem to think that it's not on purpose. I don't really know, and I don't really care.
It becomes very, it's not Valley Girl, but very,
No, it's not Valley Girl.
No, what's like Crystal's lady voice, almost.
I don't know what this means.
All right, well, remember we saw Beetlejuice, and the mom in that, was she...
She had, like, crazy vocal fry.
Yeah, yes, it was like a vocal
Annalee does
fry.
not have vocal
There were
fry.
certain lines, the way she delivered sounded very similar to that, in my opinion.
I don't know.
All right, well, I liked it. I don't care.
I
People,
think if you
people
listen-
complaining are wrong. I'm
if
sorry.
you listen to By the Sea, you'll see how certain words have an interesting pronunciation. But again, I don't think it takes away from anything. And she's kind of kooky anyway. So if she said her words wrong, it's kind of the same as like Laszlo and What We Do in the Shadows. New
Yes.
York City.
Arizona.
Like, that man is just saying words
All right.
with weird pronunciation whenever he feels
I
like
have a counter to
because
this.
it's funny.
The counter to this. In the original Broadway musical, as the musical goes on, they slowly let you in on the fact that it's musical. And people start, like, changing costumes, like, where you can see them, apparently. And, like, they, like, kind of, like, start breaking the fourth wall slightly. So, like, I don't give a shit. Like, that's, like, what this thing does to a degree. I don't care. Like, the stage breaks and red lights shoot out everywhere. Like, I don't know. She is funny and entertaining, so I'm not going to complain. That's my thought for all the haters out there. I'm also not a musical.
You tell them, babe.
I'm not a musical expert.
Yeah, we're not
I'm just a guy.
experts.
I'm not an expert in anything.
I'd be really interested. We're thinking about seeing it, like, last-minute tickets, last row, because we really don't want to pay that again. So we don't have that kind of money, but it's also stunning, so, like, feels worth it, because we really like this show. We're thinking about seeing it with a friend of ours who is a professional paid actor.
He's on the podcast.
Yes.
This is Matt Dalton.
Matt Dalton.
Headshots available. Email
episode.
us. He's got tapes. Anyone
Yeah,
out
we'll
there?
send him your tape. No, we'll
No,
send
yeah,
you
whoa.
his tape. Sorry.
Don't send us your tapes.
Yeah, we don't want them. Unless you want to be a guest and you have a podcast. Come on. Hit us up. Anyway, yeah, so he's hilarious, but he's also, as you know from his guest appearance on the pod, but he's also extremely talented, and, you know, he would know a bit better than us. As much as I did high school theater, I've been kind of removed, and, like, that's, you know, one level of talent involved in being your
This
section
whole
leader
podcast
in
is about
choir.
speaking out of our asses. You think we're movie professionals? I'd like to think so.
You took a film class once.
I took a film class.
I took
a
intro
lot
to
of film classes in high school. I got my student films are out there.
I took intro to film, and that was the weirdest experience of my life. One of the movies we watched was Hot Tub Time Machine.
Love that.
Like, tell me why.
I will actually say, in my intro to film class, I actually learned a lot. A lot of verbiage that helped, but it was like little things. I think the number one thing I took away was how to take notes of a movie. And I think that has allowed me to, like, open my eyes to things, because, like, you really need to, like, specifically write out what the shot is showing you. And I remember, you know, I'm going to go off topic. I love this. I remember there was this, it was very impactful. Guy was going through someone's notes and was like, here's how you don't do it. There was a scene where in the scene the characters kissed, and then it cut to black, and then afterwards they were in bed, right out of bed.
Bang,
and the kid's note wrote, they banged. They banged. And the teacher literally was like, see this? They banged. Like, yes, they did. But what did the scene say, right? They kissed, it cut to black. And then, yeah, then it showed there. Like, to say just that they banged isn't correct. And I was like, you actually, like, can learn a lot about how things are implied through film and, like, how visual storytelling happens. But for all you filmmakers out there, aspiring filmmakers, that's one lesson I remember from college, freshman year.
You got one. I got
Sorry, I need to talk
none.
about it.
I got that Eraserhead was a wild ride. That's the first time I watched it, was in that class.
Gotta love
We
Lynch.
also watched literal porn in that class.
Hell yeah.
So
I love that.
we were in class. Like, that wasn't like an at-home watch. Like, we were in class
Even
watching
better.
sex
Be weirder.
together.
Love that.
I was just like eating a bagel watching
How it's
people
meant to be
fucking.
watched. I just knocked my water bottle over. Sorry, everyone. All right.
Anyway,
We talk about the staging. Do you
that
have
was my next
Cool.
plot point. Or
Cool.
not plot point,
We
but
keep
my talking
peeking
point.
the mic today, so sorry if there's cracking. Usually we're not
Maybe
too loud.
shut up.
No, it's you.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, you're usually too low.
Well, my
I'm leaving all this
folks.
All right, tell me about the staging. Or do you want me to tell you about the staging?
And by staging, are you referring to... You're not referring to set. You're referring to where people physically are on stage,
I was
correct?
misspeaking. I was referring to set. Staging would be... I think a blocking is where they're on the set.
Well, it's
That's
called
not true.
staging.
Staging. My bad. All right, you talk about the staging then.
So, I thought the choreography in this was really fun. I've, again, heard complaints about this as well. That it's very modern. And I will agree, it's very modern, but I think that's fun.
Modern? What do you mean?
The choreography is...
Sorry. I get
yeah, like the
confused.
dancing.
It's
is
very
doing things.
modern.
Yes.
I don't even know what that means.
Like, that's not the choreography that would have been designed in the 80s.
Oh, okay, sure. No shit. It's modern times that it came out. We trying to retread old ground?
Like, it's a little... The first scene, the tail of the first song in the show, what's it called again?
I honestly don't know.
Todd.
A ballad.
Yeah, the Ballad of Sweeney Todd. It is very thriller-esque.
Huh.
And, like, you don't see
I
that
didn't
in
even think about
musicals
that.
a lot.
Yeah.
I thought it was so
I
fucking
love it.
fun.
It was so cool.
When I saw it on the Tonys, I was like, that is great. It's really sharp. It's really deliberate choreography. The motions are a little, like...
They're jerky.
Jerky.
But this was the music. The music of that is,
Yeah.
like, sharp and jerky, which I
Yeah.
thought it, like, fit really well.
I thought it's perfect, and anytime that song comes back up, you see similar motions from the
Can I say,
ensemble.
I'm going to call it a Greek chorus,
Mhm.
because that is actually what this is. I love the Greek chorus that,
Mhm.
like, every time, like, things will break, and all of a sudden it's just a bunch of people bringing the ballad song back, explaining where Sweeney is in his journey, and it's
Mhm.
real, like, creepy and jerky, and it's fun. That was what I was going to say. I like them running around.
Yeah, I think that staging was also very fun. Every time they're out, I feel like...
I think I love an ensemble song. I love a Greek chorus.
Gotta get you to
Maybe.
watch Legally Blonde and ask how
Is
you
there a
feel
Greek
about the Greek
Greek
chorus.
chorus in Legally
Yeah, they're
Blonde?
called the Greek chorus.
That's funny.
And they're the Greek,
Is it a Greek
chorus.
like-
Get it? Because they're
like
Greek
the-
life.
Oh my god, that is genius. I love that.
I was in the Greek chorus
Good
because
for
I
you.
was too young to be a lead and not talented enough at the time. Anyway, so the choreography, again, slaps. There is also this really fun staging of, like, the platform. So there's basically, like, a platform across the stage the entire time. And so, like, that's how they do upstairs, downstairs, is, like, someone's on the platform. And I think that was really fun.
And it looks like a
allows for a
bridge.
lot of... Yeah, it
It
looks
was
like
really
a bridge.
cool.
So in some scenes, it looks like it's
And they
supposed to be a
raise
bridge.
it up, lower it.
Yeah,
you know,
and other
sometimes it was
times-
diagonal.
Yeah,
it
and
was
other
really
times
cool.
it's the upstairs of the home. And I think that adds a really good dynamic, and it's also pretty necessary for the plot to have. I thought it looked great. I also thought that some of the dance sequences that they did using that platform, and that's why I bring it up, were very fun. So they would... It was one point where Mrs. Lovett is telling Sweeney Todd, like, what happened to his family.
I remember this.
And so
I think I wrote this down.
downstairs, and upstairs, quotes,
Was
air
his
quotes,
wife at the
on
party.
the platform is showing what happened to his wife at the party.
And it's like a
so they're
silhouette.
dancing in shadow.
Yeah.
It's their silhouettes dancing. So the choreography there was great, and I think also that staging is just really smart. And they didn't need to show anything, right?
Mhm.
Like, I didn't necessarily expect it. But it looked great.
I thought it was very cool. I remember I wrote that down. So.
I loved that. And I also love the chair for the dead bodies.
The chair was so good.
If you have never seen Sweeney Todd, in every version of the show, there is a chair. Well, any good version of the show, I would say. There will be a chair that dumps dead bodies
Into the floor.
through the floor. And it is sick as fuck. And again, and I know this is kind of going in a set, but I think the way they had that set up, the way they have the body slide down, genius. And I think it looks amazing every time. Could have been bloodier. Does. I could have used more blood.
Maybe.
But I think that looked
that was enough blood.
excellent.
I like seeing it run down the white shirts they wear and soak them up.
I could have used more.
You want to score. You want to sit in the splash zone.
I would have
get
loved
some big
to
blood
be in the
on
splash
you.
zone. I would have loved that. That's my only complaint there is more blood for
more blood.
But I knew the chair was coming, and I was so excited for that fucking chair.
It was red. It was beautiful.
It was a beautiful chair. And he also calls the chair beautiful. He refers to it as his friend. His two friends.
His three friends.
Well, he doesn't call Mrs. Lovett his friend.
No, he has two blades in the chair.
Oh, yeah, he calls the blades his friends and then the chair his friend.
Yep.
Okay, I guess that adds up to 3. I was referring to the blades as one friend and the chair as his second friend. Okay. He doesn't have a large selection of friends. He literally calls them his friends and sings, "Come now, my friends." So that's why we're referring to it that way, if you're not familiar. Tell me more about the set, since you wanted to talk about it. Or did I, word vomit?
You did a lot of it. I think it's just really well done. There's nothing like Broadway. Mm-hmm. I feel like not a lot ever really compares. Just like the production. It's really, you can get a good singer, a good performance somewhere, but I don't feel like you get the combination of great choreography, great set, great music, great singing all together other than in Broadway. And I wish they recorded more because it's impossible for people. It's really good for people to see it. It's kind of actually a very restricted art. You can't see it unless you have enough money to go.
You either have to have the money to go, or there's certain libraries in New York where you can go access the recordings of every show.
Rather than Netflix, someone should just figure out how to buy it. Because I'd watch all kinds of stuff.
I'd watch everything.
It's never as good as seeing it.
During the pandemic, they had Andrew Lloyd Webber, a couple of his musicals. They showed the hidden tapes of them. Mm-hmm. So we watched Love Never Dies.
Love Never Dies is not very good.
It sucked shit. But I was upset that I didn't catch the Joseph one.
Oh, we should figure out where to find that. I bet we could get that in our special server. FBI don't listen to this.
Matthew. Don't spill our secrets. Anyway.
Wait, that makes it sound so much worse. I just realized it's a media sharing service.
Yeah, it's not a media sharing service.
I feel like when you say
we don't do anything.
FBI, I'm like
someone has a media sharing service that we watch their shit. I don't know how they're getting.
How do they get it? I don't know.
I don't know.
What's their name? I don't know.
No, I literally don't know because I'm not him.
Or her.
Or her. Or them.
Yes, true.
Non-binary.
Uh-huh. But the set's good. Sorry. The set is very good. There's these amazing moments of rage that Sweeney Todd has where the floorboards start to break and red light shoots out from all over.
I was going to say the lighting.
That was just so lit.
The lighting was my next talking point because that shit is sick as fuck as well.
The blades are shiny, and it was confusing me because I kept seeing.
Oh my god, I kept seeing that too.
Shining.
I kept shining in the audience.
I was like, who's messing up their lights?
I was like, who the fuck is playing on their phone right now?
It was the reflection off the blades.
That's so funny because I didn't realize that until you just said that, and I was really mad. I was like, who the fuck is being this disrespectful?
There was a lady behind us that started asking a bunch of questions at the end, and we were like, shut up, shut up.
Don't talk during a show. I don't care how much you have questions.
Don't sing.
I don't care how much you love that music.
Don't even
love
breathe.
The music too.
Really?
I know every word. Mouth it. If you have to do anything, mouth it to yourself. You don't need to sing it. I mouth things to Matt all the time because I get too excited to contain it that severely, but don't sing it out loud. We're not paying to see you. Mm-hmm. If we wanted to pay to see you, we'll go to your YouTube channel or your community.
We only had that problem when we saw Moulin Rouge.
That was
someone singing.
Bad.
That was bad.
No,
You have?
I have had it many times because I've seen.
I would rather someone talk during a movie than talk during me singing a show.
I'd rather die.
Whoa,
hear you.
That's a little extreme.
Then hear you talk at my Broadway show that I've paid probably $100+ for my ticket.
Okay, Mrs. Monopoly.
Well, okay, if you're seeing Chicago, you might be spending $40.
Let's go. We gotta see Chicago.
If you're seeing Sweeney Todd, you're probably paying more than that, even though.
All right. What else do you want to ask me about? Do we have to talk about the plot of this movie
I want to talk about the lighting a bit more. I know you said there's use of red when he's angry. I think there's also a lot of use of red when people get killed. When Pirelli is killed, yes, he has the fake blood on his neck, but the they don't have the chair going on yet. So I think another indicator of like, this man is dead. Actually, he doesn't, because he doesn't get slashed the same way. What happens with him is he gets thrown in the chest, and then Sweeney leans over and kills him. And so we're not physically seeing the body be murdered. So they flash a red light, which I thought was really fun.
That was cool.
And I think the oven looked fucking
the oven looked
bomb.
really good, especially when they threw Miss Lovin in.
Because it's just like the lighting used to make it look like a burning coal oven. It's just like bright and
it looked real good.
Flame-colored, flamey light. It looked great, though. I loved it. And I also, like, in any show, the lighting really guides your focus, where there's spotlights and whatnot. And I
Not
think
just shows, movies, too. Nowadays, they do a terrible job lighting. See how many movies have terrible lighting? A lot of them. I don't know how to explain it, but everything's lit. Everything's overlit nowadays. They're trying to beautify the actors. Let me see there's pores. Let me see
them
the
look
defections in the skin. Don't
but
overlight.
In this case, I think, like, obviously sets have to move around and stuff, so I think when you, like, focus the light on certain people, it helps you move the set without being obnoxious and obvious if there's people running across the stage and shit. So I think lighting in a show is always super important to guide your focus, and nailed it. My one complaint that I wrote down, because I wanted to share one, because I've talked only good things, is, so I mentioned the chair for the dead bodies. There's a scene in the beginning of the first act where he's basically he receives the chair and he's setting up the chair. And he's telling Mrs. Lovett, like, watch out, I'm sending bodies through, blah, blah, blah.
Knock 3 times.
Yeah, and we see him send something through the chair. And I know it's part of the script, but I wish we didn't see that. I wish we did not see how that chair worked until he slit someone's throat and sent them through the body.
Would have probably been way cooler, I get that. I'm sure there's a reason for it.
That's my one complaint.
No, I get it.
And it's not a big one. Do you have any complaints?
I don't think so. I struggle to complain about a musical like this. I have so much fun with it.
You haven't seen some of the ones I've seen.
I haven't seen a lot of bad ones because I specifically go out of my way to see good ones.
Also, like, I am guiding you.
Correct.
Because I know more than you in, like, the musical department.
Yeah, you're going to make me see the good
haven't
stuff.
really shown you stuff that, like, I didn't think you would like. Like, I don't think... Like, I've seen stuff that I liked, but I don't think you would have liked. Or even, like, Moulin Rouge, I knew wasn't going to be your speed, but I knew that, like, you would enjoy it because of the spectacle of it and the errant-evade of it. So, either way...
I enjoyed it, but not nearly as much as I
same.
enjoy this or
I mean, that's a lot... it's more about the show than, like, the showiness of it, I mean.
Yeah.
The burlesque of it, than it's about the content.
Well... With Sweeney Todd, I think my only complaint is that we didn't have Gatton. I think I would have enjoyed him a lot more. But everything else sounded great. Music's great. It's a fun musical. I will say it is not my favorite musical. That's my only complaint. There are other musicals I like better.
Well, we don't get to complain about
exactly. But I mean, it was quite good. It was, like I said, my favorite version of this. So I'd see it again.
I would also see it again. Especially if my boy Gatton is there, I'm in. I won't pay that much because I already saw it, but I will pay. So we talked about the many things it did well and what it didn't do well. So let's talk about what its purpose is.
All right. You want me to ramble a little bit?
Go for it.
I was saying earlier, we gotta love a little good revenge plot, right? This is definitely a revenge story. This is a dig 2 graves revenge story, like most of them are, right? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of them go. Sometimes I kind of wish that, it wasn't that, because I do just want Sweeney to win. I kind of feel like he's in the right just killing a bunch of people to get to, maybe he shouldn't have killed all the innocent people, but he definitely needed to kill the beadle and kill the judge. Like, very much, and they made it explicitly clear that man deserves to die. But I think it is just so, maybe just because it's heart-wrenching and brutal to kill his wife and have him be the one to do it. And that's how he ends up, and then having Toby kill him is just, like, so unfortunate. But I get it. It needs to be there. It's a great tragedy. Very good tragedy. I think something I really started thinking about more this time than I did previous times was that, like, he probably could have chosen to have a happy life, like, before the end of Act 1. He could have just, like, been happy with Mrs. Lovett, right? Like, it's clear that they're good together. and that she's into him and he could be into her. His daughter is out there. He could probably go and figure out how to get her back. Like, he didn't need to kill the judge, although I'm glad he did because I want the judge to die.
That guy?
But I think that's set up. Like, he actually really has a new family. I guess they kind of set up the nuclear family with him. He's got Ms. Lovett. He's got he's got Toby, and then he probably could figure out how to get Joanna back, right? And he's got his buddy Anthony. Like, he has people in his life that care about him. He has friends beyond his two razors and the chair. Yeah. Like, he has friends.
That's why that line is so funny.
Yeah, it's funny. And, like, I think they do show moments of happiness for him. And I think, like, it's interesting that he throws that away to get his revenge and he loses all of it. And even more, really. Yeah. He loses things he doesn't even know he had. And I think that's good. It's a good tragedy. Musicals typically don't go too crazy into themes beyond surface level stuff. At least I feel that way a lot, unless some of them are based on books and it changes a little bit. But that's just kind of how they have to be. But then obviously you also have your Eat the Rich theme, which we gotta love that too. They literally eat the rich. There's a line that those up above will feed those down below as they're singing about like how they're gonna make the pies.
Okay, slow your roll, Buck.
Sorry.
You can't bring up several and then not let me respond.
Bad. I said I was going to ramble.
Selfish bitch. Trying to take all the glory here. Yeah, to summarize your first point, revenge bad, especially when you let your pain define you. Yep. I think that's kind of... And I think revenge...
It is such a tired trope.
Say whatever we want about that and if it's good or not in real life. But in the show, I think specifically the point is, like, letting your pain define you, and, like, he's not trying to give himself any happiness.
I think that's better than the revenge bad, because revenge bad is better when the person you're getting revenge on is somewhat redeemable at all.
Oh, this person's not redeemable. Like, fuck him.
Completely unredeemable, and they make that clear multiple times throughout it. So it's, like, harder to be like, revenge bad. It's like, no, like, that dude, I'll go up on stage and kill him myself. Like... Yeah.
Fans is bad. I think, it's more about, like, what he is choosing to miss out on because he can't see straight because he's hurting so much.
I agree. But I get it.
Yeah. The other, what you were saying about greed, I think we can dive into a little bit more. Obviously not quite as on the nose as the revenge plot, but I think even, just thinking about Mrs. Lovett, she starts her journey of, I don't sell any pies, I have no money, I'm poor, and think about all of the things she's willing to do or engage in or cooperate with to make rich, money.
Bring other people down to get up. That's how everyone becomes rich.
And then, similarly, with the judge, he is just so greedy that the thought of his literal daughter, his ward, but his daughter at this point, of being with someone else. He's that greedy and selfish that he's like, fuck you.
See, I read this that he's always planned on marrying her, and that's why he kept her around.
Well, which makes him even more despicable. He doesn't bring it up until sees Anthony tries to, interested in her, and he's like, you know what? Great idea. I've decided to do this this week. He's so disgusting.
I'm glad the guy that casts as him was great, too. He's old. They made him old. Yeah. Where, like, obviously you like Rickman, who plays him in the movie, but to have this, like... old, but to have this, like, old man with the old man voice, like, really drives home how disgusting he is. Yeah. And I liked that a lot. Yeah, you're right. I guess greed does come up a lot in this. Sweeney Todd's not greedy, though. No. I guess greedy in getting his revenge, right? He could just settle.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think you can argue in that regard that Sweeney is also incredibly greedy. The other thing I was going to say about the judge and his greed is he literally sends this man to jail so he could steal his wife. That is some greedy fucking behavior.
There you go. This is 7 Deadly Sins. It's envy, actually. Sweeney's wrath. Miss Lovett is... Miss Lovett's greed. The judge is envy. Lust. And lust. The beetle is sloth. I don't know. He just sucks. He doesn't do shit.
Anthony's an angel bean. So is Tobes.
Pirelli's pride.
Yeah, he is.
Anthony Antony needs to be something and Toby needs to be something.
No, they're precious beings. They're doing no wrong at all.
No wrong.
Nope.
Toby's gluttony.
How's Toby
He just does not stop eating pies the entire time. They just keep feeding him pies and gin and stuff. Tort of gin.
Because he's like a poor, homeless, starved
But
boy.
that's why I'm just trying to figure it out.
I don't agree. Anyway, yeah, so lots of greed. There's also a lot about, like, class dynamics in this. I guess not as much as the other themes, but, you know, along the same thought, the rich man could do whatever he wanted to Sweeney Todd, and he did do whatever he wanted. I think there's also, you know, a lot about how suffering leads you to do crazy shit, like bake people into pies, because that's your way to get ahead.
Heck yeah.
And there's also just so many lines about the suffering of everyone. Like, everyone in this world is suffering.
And therefore
and
they
that's
deserve
why we
to
all
die.
deserve to die.
Yep.
So, like, the exact lyrics are, they all deserve to die. Tell you why, Mrs. Lovett, tell you why. Because in all of the whole human race, Mrs. Lovett, there are two kinds of men and only two. There's the one staying put in his proper place, and the one with his foot in the other man's face.
Love it.
We're fucking exhausted being human beings. And that's not fair.
Oh, I think you meant, like, right now you and I are exhausted.
I know you are, but...
I am getting pretty sleepy.
No, but, you know, being a person is fucking exhausting, and the upper class treats everyone else like shit and uses us all as stepping stones, and...
So they deserve to die for that, and we deserve to die because we'd be better
we're
off.
Suffering. Yeah.
Well, it would be a relief, as they say.
The epiphany. Not only is it like, I've had this epiphany, I should kill more people, but it's also like, this is why I should kill the people, because they're all suffering.
Pretty sound logic, if you ask me.
Eat the rich.
Oh, I meant everyone. Everyone's gonna die.
Yeah,
it's also because he's disgusted with London at the time. I get it. I don't like British people either. That's a joke.
I don't think that's why he's disgusted.
Sweeney Todd hates British people. That's the theme.
Nailed it.
Well, I mean, Britain is responsible for basically everything wrong with this world from the beginning, right?
Hey,
let's
give the U.S. some credit now, bitch.
Where do you think we came from?
True.
You got to remember, it all starts with them.
We're a melting pot, Matt. We come.
I understand.
People from the
U.S. But Britain did
kind of
create a lot of problems to begin with in the world. Shit. I mean, there are a lot of countries still living in absolute poverty due to them. So I get it. Maybe that's what Sondheim was trying to say. British people are evil.
Fuck the British. And with that, I kind of think we're done. Yes. I don't think we're not going to rate this. It doesn't feel right.
I mean, we could rate it on a musical scale. Like a musical scale.
Want.
Like,
yeah. So funny. What would you give it? I don't know if I can do that, but.
All right. I'll be cliche. Les Mis is a 10 for me. Mm-hmm. This is, in comparison, that probably 8.5.
I was going to give it somewhere in the 8s. I think it's not my fave.
It's great. I feel like a musical above good. A 7.5 is just automatically going to be great if you see it on Broadway.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, just how it is. All right. I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Exhausted.
I'm tired. We recorded 2 today, everyone.
Look at us go.
I'm so tired.
We're releasing them at very different points in time, so you'll never know which 2 we recorded at the same time.
Someday we're going to have to do like only a 2-week delay. We're getting behind in the times.
God, how dare we?
Well, especially if we end up doing new releases, which at this time there is the writers and actors strike, so we don't plan to do a review of any new releases unless they're part of A24 or there's other studios that are have met the strike's demands. Basically because we don't want to act as promoters for the movie for all 30 of you that listen. Yes. Because that would be scabbing. So until the writer's strike is complete and the writers get what they deserve, and the writers and the actors get what they deserve, we will not be doing new movies, which sucks for us, but I think it's the right thing to do. So
it also makes me sad because I really want to talk about Fall House of Usher when it comes out, or just House of Usher. I don't know. Either way, Mike Flanagan.
The Fall of House of Usher. I didn't
know what the full name, the name of the show is. I don't know if it has
don't promote it.
I really wanted to talk about that, so kind of hoping the strike ends before this episode comes out, but we'll see. Either way, that's
but not if that compromises the actors and writers getting what they deserve.
Oh, so. Of course. Yeah, no.
All right. That's our lecture. We should talk about that in another one of these since this will be a low-rated episode because it's a musical. All right.
It's a great musical. Please watch it.
We're done. I'm Matt Hanna.
I'm Hannah.
This is Horror Hour with the Hannas.
Thanks for listening.
We're done here.
Ooh.
You're done.
Thank you for tuning into Horror Hour with the Hannas. Make sure to listen to future episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube, and follow for additional content on TikTok or Instagram at Horror Hour with the Hannas. If you like the podcast, please leave a positive review on your favorite podcasting app. Happy hauntings!